Hey everyone, I want to do a quick video. Is it better to use a semi-automatic AR-10 or a bolt-action 308 at 1,000 yards? Okay, so I'm going to give you my opinion based on my very limited experience of shooting 1,000 yards. I've only done it once, and I did manage to get 1,000 yards, 8 out of 10 for 22 inches right there. I already did a separate video on this. That works out to 2.2 MOA, okay? So I posted a full video on that. You guys should check that out. So I've only done it once, okay? And it was easy, okay? It was easy to do it because of this tool over here, okay? And the way I was able to do it, I did a very detailed video. First of all, I had no idea what I had some idea, but I was wrong on what my elevation should be. Initially, I thought it was going to be something like 14, and it ended up being like 11 and a half, okay? So, and I had really no, I had some idea of what my wind hold might be, but I had no idea. The way I was able to get on target is I picked another target, a steel target, at the 1,000 yards, and I took a couple of hits on it. And what I was doing is I was watching for splashes. I was watching for splashes on the mill grid that's in this scope, okay? And I was able to correct based off of where I saw the splashes on the mill grid. So the most difficult thing about shooting that 1,000 yards was the wind, because once I very quickly figured out what my elevation is, because I saw the splash. Because initially I think I was like 2 mils too high. I said, oh, I got to come down. Came down 2 mils. You know, I was like, okay, 11 and a half. That was done. I figured out my elevation pretty quickly. But the wind and that, unless I change my zero or change the ammunition to something that's a lot slower or something, or a lot faster, it's going to be the same every time I shoot now at 1,000 yards, right? If I'm using the same ammunition. But the wind, is going to change from second to second sometimes, okay? So what I found is the most difficult thing to deal with was the wind. And what I wanted to do in order to get these hits, in order to get this group is, because I had that steel target that I was shooting at, I figured out my elevation, I took a hit on it, and I saw where the impact was, which was like 2 mils to the right of it, okay? Then I adjusted on the reticle, 2 mils to the right, took a shot, and I saw because it was a skinny target, I saw that my impact was like maybe a couple of inches, like 3 or 4 inches to the right of that. I said, that's good, that's where I'm going to go with. And then what I did is I then transitioned onto the target, right? And my goal was to get my shots off as fast as possible, right? Before the wind had a chance to change, okay? So speed was important, right? And again, I got that 22 inches, 8 out of 10 for 22 inches at 1,000 yards. So being able to take fast shots helped me make these hits. And it wasn't like normally if I'm shooting 100 yards, yeah, hold my breath, try to even shoot between heartbeats, right? Pick up the slack on the trigger, really gently squeeze it. Okay, that's not what I was doing at 1,000 yards. Okay, at 1,000 yards, I needed to get the shots off fast before the wind changes. And I believe I'm going to post the video. The way I shot it, I think the first 6 or 7, I got off pretty quickly. I think after the 7th one, the way it was working is, if I didn't see a splash around the target, I figured out that the hits were on paper, because that meant that the splashes were happening behind the paper, okay? So I think around 7, I saw a splash. I didn't adjust for it, which was a mistake. I took another shot. I think I saw a splash. Now I adjusted, right, based on that other splash that was off the target, and then I took the other 2 shots, right? So it's more important to get your shots off before the wind has a chance to save, and that's something that you're gonna do a lot more easy with a less accurate semi-automatic AR, right, versus a bolt-action rifle where you're doing this shit, and because you're constantly moving the bolt, you're coming out of the scope. With the AR-10, I could stay in there, poof, poof, take my shots, and again, make the shots before the wind has a whole lot of time to change. Okay, so again, this is my first time shooting 1,000 yards. Obviously, I have a lot of experience going into this. I shoot 200 yards here like almost every day, all right? 100, 200 yards, I can shoot here every day almost. I shoot 500 yards, pretty often, okay? I took that experience, because I got to travel to a different location for 500 yards. I took that experience, and I took that to the 1,000 yard range. The shooting the 100 and 200 yards, yeah, that helped me develop my accuracy, right? Shooting the 500 yards helped me develop the ability to dial up and to hold for wind and stuff like that. So that's something it's a lot more efficient for me to develop that at 500 yards, right? And then when I go to 1,000 yards, now it's like, okay, what do I need to do to hit these 1,000 yards? It's not going slow. It's going fast before the wind changes. So, once you see that you're on target, get them off. There's no, I really wasn't, I don't even recall holding breath or anything like that. I doubt I was, because I wasn't thinking about it, unless it's just something that's just ingrained in, because I've been shooting for 15 years. Unless it's something that I do automatically without thinking, I don't think I was holding my breath when I was shooting at the 1,000 yards, okay? So there's my thoughts on that. Again, it's my first time shooting the 1,000 yards, so maybe after I've done this 10 times, I might have some different ideas, but these are my thoughts after having done this once. I'll give you guys another look-see at my beautiful work over there. I'm very proud of that. Very proud of it. One of the guys actually made a comment. He said, only 2.2 MOA. That's not really that great. Yeah, listen. Shooting 2.2 MOA at 1,000 yards is very different from shooting it at 100 yards. Right? Again, because the wind is actually a 5 mile per hour wind, which I have to adjust 2 mils, is moving your bullet 6 feet, which is bigger than that entire target right there. Okay. I'm not seeing impacts. I'm hoping that's because the target's covering them. I am getting thrown out of the scope a lot though. I can see why people love their muzzle brakes. It looks like it pushed it to the right. Hold on 3 mils. So for that last one, I made that immediate correction because I saw a splash to the right, and I could also feel that the wind picked up. And I made that immediate correction, and hopefully that last one hit. 8 out of 10. That time we gotta get a tape measure on this. In fact, I'm gonna pause this. We gotta go back and measure this out. We gotta measure this out. This is with the Freedom Munitions 147 grains.